Hey everybody, welcome back to Mentor Me Monday. I'm your host, Paul Turner, and today I want to talk to you about how to spot a good youth ministry network. And I love networking. This is why one of the reasons I created this channel is because I wanted to network with other youth workers like yourself. And so I don't know what your condition is as far as finding a network. Maybe you're all alone. I don't know. Maybe you have no networks in your area. Maybe you have a few networks in your area. Maybe they're, I don't know. I don't know what you have there, but I know I know how to spot a good one, and I know how to spot not so good ones. So let me give you some tips on finding a network, and I'll leave some tips at the end for where you can go to find the network you might want to find in your area. Okay. So the first thing is this: I look for agenda-free network meetings. Now, there are a lot of networks in your area maybe that sponsor things, or certain organizations or large organizations that want you to come to a luncheon and want you to come be a part of it. But there's, of course, there's, an agenda attached, or there's, where they, they'll spring for the lunch or do whatever, but they want you to be involved. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I try to find very agenda-free network meetings, if that's possible, where there are folks who say, look, we just want to get together. We want to pray. We want to talk. We want to really do some things where everything isn't every second is a 30-second commercial for something or for somebody. So for me, I look for almost agenda-free. It's nothing wrong with having an agenda. It's just it depends whether that's a hard sell or a soft sell and how they're going about that. So look for, if you can, agenda-free networks, because the agenda actually takes up a lot of time when you should be doing some of these other things on the list. I look for a network that cares about what I think, that cares about my opinion, that cares about my gifts, my talents, my abilities, and what I can bring to the table. So that's what I look for in a network meeting, and you should too, because if somebody's not caring enough about me as an individual, wants to hear my story, or wants to just share life with me and do things like that, to me that's just not that's going to be a waste of time for me, because I'm there to build. If I go to a network, I'm there to build a relationship. And yes, there's responsibility on my part. There's responsibility on all of our parts. We got to meet people and talk to people and all those kind of things. But that's the hopefully the objective of the network itself is to do that. So be sure that when you go to a network meeting, make sure that they're listening to what you're saying. The third thing is look for a network that's going to use your time wisely. I've sat through a lot of them, and you have too probably, where you got done with the meeting and you just went, well, what was that about? I have no idea what that was about. And so you want to look for a meeting that's going to really, for time management purposes, but also of how you invest your time. Is it worthwhile? Is this a network that's going to use your time wisely and is going to do the above things I just talked about, but is also just going to tap into what you're using that time for, whether it's an hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours. You don't get those 2 hours back. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing there is going to be good for you, good for your soul, and you're going to walk away feeling like that was absolutely worth my time. The fourth thing you want to look at to find a great network meeting is find one that actually networks people, okay? A lot of times in networks you have, somebody who gets up front maybe and talks, or there's a lead person and they're just, spewing out things and things like that, but there's really no time for where you actually talk to other people about their churches, their ministries. And a lot of that goes back to, number one, is that a lot of the agenda time, whoever's leading the meeting, if they have an agenda, are just sucking up the life out of your network meeting, because it's not really networking. It's you're here to hear us talk about stuff, but there's no real connection going on. Find a network that is going to get you talking to each other and not just sitting and listening to a talking head up front. Or if you have a smaller meeting, I think about these big network meetings, but even if you're in a small meeting, if there's a dominant person who's having a conversation, or they're the leader of the network, but they're not giving everybody an opportunity to talk or actually network with one another about resources or about ideas or strategies, things like that, then there's not a lot of networking going on. There's people you met, and then you got to go exchange numbers maybe and meet later. But I think the network meeting is the network meeting. That's where you should do a lot of your strongest networking. So number 5, find a network that challenges you to be more. challenges you to be a better youth worker, or or challenges your faith walk a little bit, that says, you know what, I want to spend some time in prayer about this. I want to, I don't want to just pray for the meal and then just go on. My soul, your soul, maybe just being crushed, and you're trying to get with people who you can confess to, who you can talk with, who you can have a conversation with. You say, well, that's pretty deep, Paul. I know. Hey, look, find the network that's going to do that for you, though. Don't just go to a network hoping and say, well, find a network that's going to, create the atmosphere and the environment that's going to allow you to do that. The sixth thing is find a network that's going to make you smarter or better, a smarter or better youth worker. And I say this because, sometimes you go to a network meeting and it's just, there's no resource there. Nobody's sharing a lot of things. It's a lot of information, but not necessarily things that are going to make you better at what you do. Maybe the speaker's talking about something, or it's hit and miss sometimes. I understand that. Maybe every meeting's not like that, but finding a meeting that says, look, how are you going to equip me to do what I do with kids, especially if I'm part-time, especially if I'm a volunteer, especially those things. How are you going to do this? It's okay to set a bar for the network that you're going to be a part of. It's important, If you don't, then you're just going to say, oh, well, this is all there is, and I just go to that. And you know what? It's just not going to make you happy, and you're going to be left unfulfilled. And so my encouragement is, find a network that's going to make you a smarter or better youth worker in what you do, because you're worth it. The seventh thing is this, and the last thing is this, is don't join a network that's going to shame you if you skip the network meeting. In other words, if you skip it or miss it or things like that, and they're just always on your case, you don't want to be in that network meeting. Because, if it's not loving and kind, like they're actually following up on you, you just say, well, Paul, that'd be a good sign. It would, but if you're not at that network meeting for a couple of times and nobody calls, and they just say, well, we just don't care, well, then maybe that's a network you don't want to be a part of. Maybe you get enough of that in your own church, right? So my encouragement is, find an actual network where if you miss it, somebody's going to follow up with you and say, hey, buddy, I missed you. Why don't you come back and share some of your ideas, things like that. So what can I do then, Paul? Let me do this. 3 things you can do. Number 1, you can be bold in your neighborhood and just say, where's the local network? Go to the church right across the street and say, hey, if I don't have some friends outside of this church here, I'm going to die on the vine, and I need to network. Can we at least pray together once a week? That's it. If that's all you can do, but sometimes we've got to be bold and say, you know what? I need you and you need me. The scripture says, right, Psalms 133:1, how good and pleasant it is when brethren dwell together in unity, right? That's it. God is pleased by that. And so, networks are important to God. He loves it when we as a church gather. I think he also loves it when we as youth workers gather. So it's an awesome place to be with that, but you also have to look at Amos, 3:3 that says, can 2 walk together unless they agree upon something? You got to have the same values in that network. You got to be with people who have the same heart, the same passion, and those things that you have for what a network ought to be. So the first thing is, be bold in your own neighborhood. Find somebody that you can get with, pray with, and talk with, and go from there. The second thing is, find some online. If you need to find some networks in your area, you don't know if there's a network in your area, go to places like National Network of Youth Ministries, NNYM, and it can direct you. If you put in your zip code there, it's nnym.org, I believe it is. And if you go there, you can put in your zip code and you can find a network in your area. Also, you go to YS Networks, the new website by Youth Specialties. I think it's called ysnetworks.org. You can check me on that, but it's ysnetworks.org. And you can also type in type in a zip code, and it will direct you to find if there's a network around you as well. So those are just 2 areas you can go to if you're looking for a network in there. And finally, the third one is this. If you're just tired of it, if you're saying, look, I can't find anything I want, you start your own. This is what I did. I created a network here between, my blog and between, creating a YouTube channel and all these other things, so that I could be in a network with people who are like-minded people who say, that's what I want to be a part of. That's it right there. And so if you have a similar passion as I do, and you want to be a part of the network? First of all, if you're watching this, you are part of the network. Thank you for being here. I'd love to hear your comments about what you like about networks or don't like, or which one of these 7 things do you really need in your life right now, and how can we right here as a community meet that need? So go ahead and leave me a comment down below and share your heart with me about that. So anyway, if you want to start a network, start your own network in your neighborhood. Put up a post, put it on YS. You can also, by the way, online, great ones like Youth Pastors Only on Facebook is a group, and also youthmen.org has one on Facebook as well. Those are both great communities to be a part of and kind of share or vent and those things. So a bunch of great guys over there. And so anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on networking. I hope that you're looking forward to networking in the new year as I am. As part of this channel, I'm going to do actually a live network meeting with our Mentoring Monday on the last Monday of January. I don't remember the date on that, but if you look at your calendar and put the last month of January, the last Monday of January, we're going to do a live network meeting. I hope that you'll be a part of that. And let me know in the comments below if you say, but that's awesome, or if you have a topic idea for that Monday. I'm leaning towards, volunteers or something like that. But you have an idea too, go ahead and leave me a suggestion down below. Anyway, thanks for joining me today for Mentoring Me Monday. I'm your host, Paul Turner. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. That lets me know you like it and want more of it. And if you're brand spanking new, thanks for joining me today for Mentoring Me Monday. And if you want more videos like this in your inbox, please hit the subscribe button right there, and that will get videos like this into your inbox whenever I create them, which is usually every Monday and on Tuesdays for the Tuesday Panic. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. I'm your host, Paul Turner, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the Tuesday Panic. And Happy New Year to you guys.